We're back to the second league of the day. This is Death's Shadow. Now, there's obviously different colors that you can build Death's Shadow with. This is the blue-black version, and it's basically... This is essentially Delver, but with Shadow and the black cards instead of Delver's usually red cards in DRC. So, all the typical stuff you expect in a blue-black tempo deck. We've got Brainstorm and Ponder, Thoughtseize for black, and of course Daze and Force of Will. Then for the threats, there's one of Fatal Push as a removal spell and a one of Dismember. Then you've got your Death Shadows, which are going to benefit you for taking a bunch of damage, which is why this is basically the only Legacy deck that plays Shock Lands. There's 3 Watery Graves, although there are still Underground Seas because sometimes you want to fetch these and not take damage. There are scenarios where that happens. And then the rest of the land base is just fetches, shocks, duels, 1 of each basic, and then 4 wastelands. Then you furthermore have Orcish Bowmasters, Grief, 1 Snuff Out also as removal, and Snuff Out and Dismember. Snuff Out, Dismember, and Thoughtseize all contribute to Death Shadow growing bigger. And then up here, you've got Troll of Khazad-dûm and Murktide Regent. And one of the interesting things you can do is you have the Reanimate package. So first of all, Reanimate does lower your life total for Shadow, but you can also Grief and then Reanimate the Grief. So this is the Legacy version of Scam. You can also cycle Troll of Khazad-dûm and Reanimate it. And that is basically the play patterns of the deck. Then you've got in the sideboard, Hydroblast for the red decks, 1 Dress Down, 1 Brazen Borrower, 2 Force Negation, 2 Surgicals for graveyards, another Fatal Push for creature matchups, the 4th Bowmasters, Shieldred's Edict, 1 Plague Engineer. Then you got Grafdigger's Cage, again for the graveyard matchups and for decks like Elves that cheat creatures into play, Null Rod for artifacts, and Palantir of Orthanc, a new card from the Lord of the Rings, is a 3-mana legendary artifact, and it's at the beginning of your end step. Put an influence counter on it and scry 2, then target opponent may have you draw a card. If they don't, you mill X, where X is the number of influence counters on it, and that player loses life equal to the total mana value of those cards. And because this deck does actually have a surprisingly high amount of high-value cards between Grief, Force of Will, Troll, and Murktide Regent, so if your opponent denies you the card draw and just allows you to keep milling, you will eventually kill them by just milling out. So they either have to gamble that you're not going to mill over enough, or they're going to get to a point where they can't risk it anymore, and then you just get to start drawing a card every turn. But that is Blue-Black Shadow, so let's jump into the league. All right, we are on the play for round 1. Only 1 land, but we do have double Grief. We can't force, though. I think it's viable, though. So Fetch Shock, 17. Reanimate puts us to 13, and then any life loss gets the shadows going after that. All right, I'm going to keep. All right, Delta, then we evoke Grief, exiling Bowmasters. Make sure to stack Evoke second. So resolve this. All right, we're facing Delver, so I do need to get rid of Force of Will so they can't force the Reanimate. So get rid of Force, and then that dies. Then we go Fetch, Shock in Watery Grave, Reanimate on Grief, trigger again, and now we just take Ponder or Darcy. Ponder's the card that most enables them to get out of this. All right, let's take Ponder, and then over to them. All right, Volcanic, Darcy. So the problem is they can daze us. So let's go Combat, Attack with Grief. Actually, so yeah, I can't cast Ponder because then they just daze it, right? 17, and then back to them. And then if they cast a second Darcy, I'll force it. Tropical Island, Darcy, all right, force. And then will they attack us? They are going to attack us. All right, we go to 11, then it's back to us. Ooh, daze too. Okay, so the problem is, again, if we cast Shadow, they daze it. Even if we daze them back, they have mana open. Then so I go Shadow, they go Daze, I go bounce my land, they go pay for it. Then I shock it in again and play Shadow. All right, Combat. I would much rather have both in play than only one. All right, I guess they're only at play right now. We just got to tempo them out. There's Daze. Let's allow Surveil to resolve. Daze them back. Pick this up. Daze you. They pay it. Yep. Okay, so can't pay for this one. Then we shock this back out and play the other Shadow. All right, back to them. Volcanic, Darcy, and then no attacks. All right, go to combat. They can double block Grief, but that's fine. Swing, no blocks. So I guess they're gonna try to like get Bolt and to get these up to Delirium. So let's play Ponder. I guess I'm gonna take Troll, right? So this one, this one, this one, no shuffle. Over to them. All right, bolting us. And then if they Delirium these, we're dead. And they're only missing land or artifact. Sinkhole. They kept it on top, so it's a fetch land. Brainstorm. All right, that's a lot. Oh, there we go. We're dead. All right, Versus Delver, we do not want Force of Will. We want Hydroblast, we want Dress Down, we want Brazen Borrower, Fatal Push, Bowmasters, Edict. Dress Down is only good against Merc. Well, it's also good to make Shadow huge. I don't know how useful Daze is in this matchup. Let's do that. Palantir is pretty good too, although we are very, very low on lands. I basically just want all action. All right, listen. Run this. So on the play, we have no lands. We have Grief, but no lands. All right, Mull. This hand's so bad. We can't Grief because we have no way of reanimating it. We have no spells, no interaction. Our only plan is like Wasteland and then very, very slowly get there. All right, let's go to 5. Okay, so we keep this. We throw 2 back. What is the 2 back that we're throwing? Thoughtseize plus Shock Fetch Shock gets us to 15 life. And then we're still short on Death Shadow. And then we control for another Watery Grave. So what am I throwing back? Palantir and... I can't go to 1 land. I guess I can go to 1 land with Troll, right? So Palantir Wasteland. And if they Wasteland us back, then we just lose. So maybe I don't need to Thoughtseize or Brainstorm on turn 1. So I guess I just go land, Troll, get a second land, and then I Thoughtseize them after that. All right. Let's put this back, and let's put this back. Done. So Delta, pass the turn. Trop Island. All right. Fetch, Shock, Swamp Cycle, grab Water Grave. Over to us. All right. Shock this in, cast Thoughtseize. Beanstalk, Force of Will, and 2 Wastelands and Trop. All right, let's take this. All right, over to them. Wasteland, Float Blue. All right, Brainstorm. All right, well, and then I guess they're just not doing anything else. All right, back to us. So play Island, Ponder. All right, that's all fine. So let's keep Ponder on top. So no shuffle, draw the Ponder, play Ponder. All right, that's all good. So Palantir is going to be really good if we can resolve that. But probably not. They'll probably Wasteland us. So let's go Palantir, Bowmasters, Underground Sea, no shuffle, back over to them. All right, are they going to Wasteland us or not? Wasteland. They're Wastelanding us. All right, Underground Sea, stop on their upkeep, cast Bowmasters, target me so I can play Shadow next turn. All right, there's Trop. So now their hand's forced 3 unknown cards. All right, combat, swing, cast Death Shadow, and they did not force it, so they either couldn't or they didn't care to. Scalding Tarn. All right, let's Brainstorm. Opponent fetches in response. Okay. Red Blast, sure. Go to combat. Swing all. Trop. Okay. Ooh, Polluted Delta. All right. Go to combat. Swing all. 4 damage. Fetch another Watery Grave. Okay, they go to 8. I guess we try to resolve Palantir. All right, Daze, sure. Can't pay. Back to them. Misty Rainforest. Well, I mean, let's just keep hitting them. Swing. All right, they're at 2. They got 1 turn to basically answer everything on the board. Okay, we won. On to game 3. I guess just keep everything the same. I don't really feel like Daze or Force Will is that good in this matchup. I just want to have more action. Like more threats, more removal that answers things that have already resolved. Maybe Palantir is not good. Especially on the draw. Yeah, okay. So, Daze back in. And submit. All right, we've got Shadow. We can get down reasonably far, and we have Daze. So I'll keep. I can also snuff out anything they play. All right, Delta, pass turn, Tarn, and no actions. All right, back to us. All right, so if I double fetch, I only go to 14, so I still have to wait. All right, Delta, pass to them. Opponent fetches, Trop Island, Misty Rainforest, fetch. Are they just going to play like Beanstalk and hold up mana for days? Life from the Loam. Okay. All right, I should do this now because I think there's only 3 Water Graves in the deck, right? Yeah, so trigger, fetch, trigger, back to us. I do not want to expose Shadow to a bolt, though. Ooh, Grief. I can't reanimate it, though. If I don't play Shadow, then I'm just passing without doing anything. All right, shock this in. Play Death Shadow. Force of Will, exiling Murktide Regent. Sure. All right, back to them. Surgical Extraction on Death Shadow. Okay, sure. They do get to see our hand. Misty Rainforest. All right, I guess let's just try to hardcast Grief. Ooh, Thoughtseize as well. Maybe Thoughtseize is better then. All right, Thoughtseize them. Let's see what we're dealing with. Green and blue, Daze. Sure, I'll pay that. All right, pay for Daze. Do they have like Flusterstorm or something and they just need us to pay out? Oh, they just have a handful of lands. Well, all right. Well, we can't do anything else, so pass over to them. Tarn. Well, Grief's not going to get any better than it is right now, I suppose. All right, Grief. Trigger. They still just have 3 lands. All right, pass back to them. So my opponent has just like flooded like crazy, apparently. There's Taiga. All right, Wasteland, Combat, Swing with Grief. I mean, they have to draw spells at some point, right? DRC. Can I just bounce and then cast Brazen Borrower? I guess we get hit by Daze if they drew Daze. Let's just get rid of it permanently. So, kill this. Petty Theft on Grief. Surveil, okay. Bounce Grief back to hand. Then this dies. Then we flash out Brazen Borrower. They can also flash out their Brazen Borrower. So, ooh, Ponder. All right, Ponder. Huh. Well, other than the one Fatal Push, that's 2 lands. So let's, I actually do want another land because of Troll. So let's put this here. I guess, what am I doing this turn? I'm going this here and then push and then do not shuffle. So combat, and then they can double fetch and block Brazen Borrower, I guess. Swing. They're not doing that. Well, since they're not doing that, I'm just going to play Grief, even though I know there's nothing to take in their hand. And over to them. Ponder. They chose not to shuffle. Beanstalk. All right. Brainstorm. All right. Fetch. Fetch. Go to 7. Are they just going to play Merc? Brazen Borrower. Let's daze it. Actually, let me think. If I allow that to resolve, then I can resolve my Troll, and then if they counter it, I can daze it back. It's fine if they trade Brazen Borrower for Brazen Borrower. I can also just snuff out this. All right, so Polluted Delta. Let's just snuff out this. Snuff out Brazen Borrower. All right, combat. Swing here. I guess we lose to double Bolt. Swamp. Play Troll. So they can't force anymore. So yeah, we lose to double Bolt, and that's it. Daze. Daze. All right, so their hand is land and 1 unknown, so I think we got it. Oh, sorry. Land 2 unknowns. So if they have exactly 2 bolts, we die. All right, we have won the match. On to round number 2. All right, we are on round 2, and we are on the play. No colored Lana, so let's mull that. All right, this is fine. I'm not sure what I put back here. I guess the card that's the least useful is Fatal Push, because there's matchups where Fatal Push doesn't matter. All right, let's put that back. So shock this in, play Ponder. All right, that's pretty good. So let's make sure we draw Bowmasters. So let's go, we want to draw Wasteland. So we want to have Bowmasters second. So Ponder, Bow, Wasteland, no shuffle. Over to them. Flooded Strand. All right, let's shock this in and then pass and then probably just stop them in their upkeep. I guess if they fetch, I'll respond to that so I can't get dazed. All right, Bowmasters, no daze window. All right, what deck are we playing against? I guess a control deck. Xander's Lounge. All right, Wasteland's going to come and clutch here. Combat. Swing, swing. All right, second main, Ponder. That's all good too. I guess we want to immediately draw Force of Will. Then we want to have Shadow we can't play next. So Troll, Reanimate Troll, then Shadow. So I want to go here, here, here. No shuffle. And then I'm going to Wasteland the Xander's Lounge at the moment they fetch so that they can't have Leyline Binding active. Island. All right, Brainstorm. I don't want the second Force. I can't put everything back, though, and I want to keep Shadow. I guess I go Shields down on the Force of Wills, so then I can cycle the Troll right now. Swamp Cycle. Let's grab Watery Grave. And then over to us. Oh, we drew the Force of Will anyway. That's fantastic. So go to combat. Swing here. Fetch. Response, Wasteland this. Flow to red, sure. Fetching Savannah. All right. Fizzle the red mana or cast a spell. Violent Outburst. So we got Rhinos. All right, well, we'll counter that. So counter the Rhinos. They're going to counter us back. All right, counter us back. Sure. Rhinos appear, and then we lose our guys. Yeah, all right. So we lose our orcs. And then let's reanimate Troll. Then shock this in. Play Shadow. And over to them. We are in a position, though, where we can't actually attack them. If they just Cascade again, then we're actually losing. Well, they're Cascading again. Another Troll, which we can't play. They can just attack us with everything, and then we're dead. All right. So, against them, I definitely want Force of Negation. I want Hydroblast. Doesn't work. Surgical, I want. Plague Engineer. Grafdiggers does nothing, right? Yeah, because the spell gets exiled first. So, let's see. 1-for-1 removal is just awful. So, I don't want any of that. Although they probably play Murktide as well. So, I do need some removal. Bowmasters is pretty weak in this matchup. We can cut all of those. So I guess I keep Snuff out in case I need to kill Murktide or something. All right, submit that. So on the play for game 2. No lands, mull. Okay, so this hand's not good either. Man, this hand's so not good. Like, Plague Engineer is okay, but it doesn't actually stop them. We have no spells for Murktide. We can't reanimate the Grief. We can't even play Shadow on curve. We gotta have a hand that has interaction, and that isn't just evoking Grief for no value. All right, mull that. All right, this is a hand that does something, so keep. I have to put 2 cards back, so let's put back one of the Dazes and Surgical. All right, so this, let's go fetch Watery Grave, Ponder, Grief Reanimate, no third black spell, and then we're landlocked, so we got to shuffle. Shuffle, we drew Grief. All right, over to them. Forest, suspend Footfalls. All right, Ponder. Well, Troll can at least find us another land, so And then I probably want to Thoughtseize them, right? So I want to go, that's on the bottom, this one, this one. Do not shuffle, and then back over to them. So spends a second Footfalls. Okay. Well then, Swamp Cycle this. Grab Watery Grave, play Watery Grave, shock it in, Thoughtseize them. Hull Breacher, Lorien, Leyline Bind. All right, one of the two Hull Breachers. And then we can't do anything else, so over to them. Fetch, Sanders Lounge. Then down to 3 and 2 counters on the Footfalls. Wooded Foothills. So I can Brainstorm, and then they'll flash Hull Breacher, and then we can daze it back. Kind of have to. All right, Brainstorm. Opponent fetches. Trop. Opponent casts Hull Breacher. We daze that back. Bounce this. Brainstorm resolves. Okay, so... We're pretty quick to get Footfalled here. Also Leyline Binding, so we probably need to Wasteland. They actually don't have any white mana. But they can Lorien for white mana. So there's no way we can keep them off of Leyline Binding unless we grief them. So I can double grief, but then I don't have a shadow. So what am I putting back? I gotta put back 2. So, yikes, this is bad. All right, how fast of a clock is Death Shadow? Right, so I go Reanimate the Troll, play Death Shadow, and then they still have Leyline Binding. I can technically force it. So I can put back Wasteland Grief, and then I go Shock, Reanimate Troll, play Shadow, force a negation, Leyline Binding if they try to do it on their turn. Okay, Shock, Reanimate the Troll, play Shadow, over to them. Footfalls, Savannah, Leyline Binding, Force. All right, hopefully that's good enough. Go to combat, swing, boom, 4, play Wasteland, go. Footfalls comes off Suspend. The Troll can still attack through that, right? This has to be triple blocked. All right, back over to us. Let's attack them because we're dead on the backswing regardless, right? Combat, swing, Violent Outburst. All right, we lose. We lose super hard. So they have to triple block this, but then I can only kill 1 Rhino. So they triple block here, block chump here, and then we lose on the backswing. All right, we lose. On to the next one. Round 3 on the play. No lands, Mull. Okay, this is usable. I'm going to put back Wasteland, I think. Or maybe I should put back a Brainstorm. I'm not sure. Now let's put back Wasteland. Leyline of the Void main deck. Okay, so it's Helm, which means there's no Reanimate plan here. All right, Helm combo it is. Swamp. Well, we have to Swamp Cycle this, so be it. Swamp Cycle. Grab Water Grave. Murktide's dead too. Jesus. All right, let's Brainstorm. Okay, so I'm going to... Oh, man, what am I doing here? I'm Swamp Cycling again. So what do I not want? I don't want Murktide, and I definitely do want Force of Will. Bowmasters is probably not good in this matchup, so let's put that back too. Shock this in, and then pass. Chromox. Imprinting Ill-Gotten Gains. Urza's Saga. That's bad too. Dothy Voidwalker. All right, counter that. Actually, hang on. It's just 3 a turn, because it with Leyline doesn't do anything. All right, Swamp Cycle this. Grab Watery Grave. Yeah, that can resolve. That's fine. Okay. Brainstorm. All right, Dismember's good. So put back Grief, because we don't need that. I guess I want to draw it next turn, though. So Ponder, then Grief. Then we Dismember this. Actually, don't have to Dismember it right now, right? Yeah, so let's just go... Oh, no, I do have to Dismember it right now, because I need to play Shadow. So Dismember, go to 12, kill that, and then Shadow, over to them. All right, so if they play Helm, we have to force it. Thoughtseize us. All right, I guess I allow that to resolve, sure. So they took Brainstorm. Chromox. Okay. Exile Dark Ritual. So they make a 4/4 Construct, unfortunately, and now this Grief is useless. So, all right, blow up your Urza Saga. They make a Construct, and it's a 3/3, and then we're both in top deck mode. Top deck mode, both players. Vault of Whispers. All right. Construct is a 4/4. All right, Ponder. I can reanimate their Dothy. None of this is any good. Let's shuffle. Yeah, let's shuffle. All right, another Shadow. Pass turn. Top deck war. Who's gonna top deck better first? All right, just keep passing, I guess. Thoughtseize does make these 3/3s. I'll just keep passing. Maybe I should cast it so that I can't have my guys killed by Bowmaster. Yeah, all right, let's Thoughtseize them. All right, it's a swamp. Go ahead. No, they top decked it. Okay, Grief. All right, well, that's okay. I assume they'll take Force here, right? No, they took Grief. Why not take Force of Will? That's my only piece of interaction if you draw Helm or Beseech. Swing? No, you don't want to swing. You do not want to swing. Here's another Death Shadow. Go ahead. They're going to attack. All right, no blocks. Let's go to 7, and these all get really big. So I can't attack them with everything, because if I do, then I die. But I can attack them with 2 shadows and leave 1 back to block the construct. Combat. Swing, swing. No blocks. All right. Opponent goes to 6, and back to them. Flashing in Bowmasters. Okay, so if they do that and they put us to 6, then they attack with everything. We block here. We take 5. We survive, right? But then I can't force anything else. Although I can't force anything now if I allow this to resolve, right? So it comes in. They shoot us. We're at 6. If they attack with everything, we block here. We take 5 damage. We go to 1. It also means that we can't attack them back next turn. So I guess I should just counter it. All right. Top deck war. Who's going top deck? What'd you get? All right, we won. That was close. So let's see. We need Brazen Borrower to deal with Leyline. We need Dress Down can kill Construct tokens. Let's see. Fatal Push for Dothy Voidwalker and a bunch of other stuff. Shieldred's Edict. We can Plague Engineer named Orc and kill all of their opposing orcs. What else? Null Rod stops Helm, but it doesn't do anything else, so I don't want that many. Bowmasters, Mirror, and then maybe Force Negation is meaningful. I want to cut out stuff that's bad against Void. Snuff Out doesn't do anything. It kills Construct tokens. What else? I think Thoughtseize is probably not that great in this matchup, as evidenced by all the top decking. Although maybe it's better than Daze, I don't know. Force Negation's better later in the game, but it's not that good. Palantir is, let's see. If that player doesn't, you mill X, where X is the number of influence counters the player loses life equal to the total mana value of this card. So it doesn't matter if they're exiled, it still works. Let's go to Daze and keep Thoughtseize in, I guess. All right, submit. Oh, Null Rod also shuts off Chromox, I guess. So it is a little better than I'm giving it credit for. No lands, Maul. That's fine. Keep, throw back a Swamp. Well, turn 1 Leyline. Vault of Whispers. All right, Delta, go. There's a Saga. All right, I gotta fetch Watery Grave now because there's only 1 left and I don't want to draw it. Orcish Bowmasters, okay. They're just playing around Days, I guess. Sure. Shock, I guess let's dismember that. Kill that, and then over to me. Shock, I want to hold up Bowmasters and Brazen Borrower, I suppose. All right, over to them. All right, let's just kill that. Nah, we can take a hit, it's fine. All right, take 1, go to 9. I need to get out of the thought process of saving life when this deck doesn't actually need to save life in a lot of situations. All right, do they not have the... Oh, okay, so they've got a Dark Ritual in order to get the mana to do this. Although they could do that at instant speed, right? Shieldred. All right, well, I'm bouncing that. Or I could just counter it, I guess. Yeah, let's counter it. Bowmasters. I could have also bounced it and then Thoughtseize it out of their hand. Multiple ways they could go, but I also potentially want to Thoughtseize other things. Ooh, I can reanimate their Shieldred. Oh, so good. All right, Thoughtseize you. What do you got? Voidwalker, Edict, Ritual. So we take Edict. Reanimate your Shieldred, which does put us to 2, but... So tapped, combat, swing here. All right, so they go to 16 from Shieldred, and then they get to float 1 here and go fetch something. I guess they can fetch what? Chromox? Maybe I was supposed to take Ritual, because then that keeps them off of Beseeching. Chromox, Imprinting. My thought process was that if they dealt with the Bowmasters, then they would have another removal spell to get rid of Shieldred. So I figured my best way to win this game is to keep Shieldred alive. All right, they're not imprinting anything. Oh, does that mean they just have it? Dark Ritual, Dothy. Reanimate Bowmasters. Okay, so the Bowmasters puts us to 1, and then even though we gain 3 life, and then I can't block Dothy Voidwalker unless I draw a removal spell. All right, we do Thoughtseize. All right, we're dead to Dothy Voidwalker, so that's that. All right, I think my choices are correct here. Maybe I'm supposed to be playing Daze instead of Reanimate. I'm not sure. They do have a lot of expensive spells. I don't know. All right, let's just run it back. All right, on the play, we have a decent enough hand. Keep this. All right, no Leyline this game, so Delta, go. Swamp, fetch. I guess I technically should have fetched immediately in order to get around a potential Ritual into Oppo Agent. I gotta remember that that's a thing they can do. All right, grab Watergrave. Oh my god, we drew Reanimate? Okay, that's insane. Shock, Reanimate the Troll, play Death Shadow. Over to them. Turn 2, 10 power. Fatal Push? No, cycle their own Troll. Second land. Reanimate on their Troll. Okay. Well, they can't. I can cycle, go get Watery Grave, and then this is a 6/6. All right, Swamp Cycle. Grab Watery Grave. Play Watery Grave. Shock. Combat. Swing. They're not blocking. Oh no, so they have Bowmasters. So I can't block this, and then All right, ponder. All right, so shuffle. I guess I need to draw days, right? Shuffle. All right, over to them. I guess the fatal push doesn't matter, right? Let's just play another shadow. So I was too hasty there. I didn't consider that I would be at exactly enough life to get hit by this and then get bowmastered. Yeah, we're gonna get bowmastered and get killed by that. No, we're not. I am shocked. All right, on to round number 4. Well, if they were gonna concede, why'd they attack us? Round 4 on the play. We have Wasteland and can cycle this, and then we can reanimate it and play... We can't reanimate and play Death Shadow on the same turn, but this is good enough, so we'll keep this. So play Wasteland, pass over to the opponent, Polluted Delta, Volcanic Island, Darcy. All right, so we're playing against Delver. Bobble. Doesn't Surveil. Bobbles immediately. Are they targeting us? Okay. All right, cycle the Troll, grab Watery Grave, Bobble trigger. All right, shock this in, reanimate the Troll. All right, do I Wasteland them back? I do need to be able to pay for days, so I don't think I do. Wasteland. Oh, man, that's really bad. They're Wastelanding our Watery Grave? Yuck. All right, Ponder. All right, they kept it on top. Do they not have another land? No, I guess, yeah, they played Wasteland for the turn, so they don't have another land drop. Draw Murktide. All right, so I guess my best bet is probably to just keep them off lands and have our Troll beat their DRC. Swing. Like, we can kill them faster than they can kill us, so let's keep them off of mana. All right, hit that. Look at this board. They're going to hit us. Okay. We go to 11. Trop Island. Oh, if they have Mandrills, they can play Mandrills, and then, yeah. We're just... Okay. Island. Ponder. All right, there's a bunch of lands, so... This one, this one, this one. No shuffle. So if I attack them, they go to 7, then they attack me, and we go to 6, and then I play a huge Death Shadow. Seems good to me. All right, attack. Swing. Delta. Fetch. Wait, they're fetching and going to 6? So they're going to triple block? I'll take that exchange. That's fine for me. All right, I do trade for all their guys, so that seems fine to me. Go to combat. Swing. Triple block. All right, damage. We all trade. And then I can reanimate this again, or I can just play Murktide. Reanimating gets kind of dicey because then we're at a low enough life that we can get double bolted. I would also prefer, the basic island screwing us up being able to play 2 things in a turn. We can play Murktide next turn. I also want Death Shadow to be big enough that it can't get bolted. I guess if I'm going to ponder, I'm going to ponder no matter what. So if I draw Grief, I would Grief them. Ponder. You going to daze me, bro? I'll take a daze here. Wow, we did get Grief. All right, so this, no shuffle. Play Underground Sea. Evoke Grief, getting rid of Death Shadow. Force of Will, exiling Daze. Okay. Attempt to reanimate Grief. Or, I guess Troll just kills them immediately, right? But Troll puts us to 5. It's a 2-turn clock with Grief. It's a 1-turn clock with Troll. They have to have exactly red land double bolt. All right, let's go for Troll. Back to you. Lorien revealed. Volcanic. Do they actually have it? Oh my god, they actually have it. Wow. All right. All right, push. Bowmasters. Edict. These are bad. Dress down's pretty good in this matchup, I think. All right, run that. No lands, Mole. All right, keep this and throw back the Flooded Strand. All right, Thoughtseize. Veil, Beanstalk. Oh, man, that's a really, really good hand. Tempted just to take Beanstalk, and then if they play DRC, then we just push it. All right, let's take Beanstalk. Over to them. Misty, Volcanic, DRC, yeah. Bobble, then Bobble draws. So Wasteland, if they have Life from the Loam, is irrelevant. So let's just play Underground Sea, kill this. Back to them. I will try to Brainstorm even if they can daze me here. Pull a Delta, fetch. So I assume they're just going to cast Loam, right? Let's cast Brainstorm. Okay, so then Loam resolves. So shock this in. Let's Bowmasters right now. Target you, and then pass. I guess I just don't play into daze anymore, right? Wasteland, float, and then we've got the Loam Waste Loop. All right, let's Brainstorm now. It's fine if they daze it. They didn't daze it. Let's put those back. They did not daze it. Interesting. Combat, swing, swing. All right, gotta go to 15. Ponder. I do want to draw Shadow, although I can't play it right now. I'd have to like dismember my own thing in order to play it. So this hand's just, this 3 is just bad. All right, we'll shuffle. Troll. So if I Wasteland this now, then they can't go, they can Loam and get Wasteland back, but they can't deploy Wasteland this turn. Whereas if I don't do that, they just get Wasteland out. All right. So let's stop on their upkeep and waste the Trop. Veil of Summer. Okay. Trigger, target you. Oh, I can't target them. So I target the Orc, I guess. No, I target me for Shadow. Brainstorm. Okay. I guess I keep shooting myself to make Death Shadow. Target me, target me, target me. All right, yeah, let's just kill that. So we do have a 5/5 Orc army now. New trop. Bolt the Bowmaster, sure. Ponder. All right, Swamp Cycle this. Grab a Watery Grave. Then back to us. We can Wasteland them again to further just keep them off stuff. Seems good. All right, so Brainstorm. Ooh, Murktide. All right, I probably won't need Fatal Push, so let's do that and that. Combat. Swing. Let's cast Ponder. Push, Grave, Death Shadow, no Shuffle. Then pop, trop. All right, 2-turn clock with this Orc army. Casts Brainstorm. All right, Misty Rainforest. Bobble. So then Bobble draws. All right, go to combat. Attack with the Orc army. So let's shock this in, and then let's play Murktide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Holding up 1 for Daze. Force a Will. Okay. Exiling Daze. So let's try to resolve this Death Shadow now. All right, back to them. Fetches with Misty. So both of these are lethal now, so they have to have answers to both of them. Brainstorm. They can bolt this, but then I guess what, Submerge? But they need a forest in order to cast Submerge. Oh, they still have a land drop? Okay. Trop, Ponder. All right. Won that one, so back to game 3. I think this is still correct. Oh no, I should have Hydroblast in here. Man, maybe Daze isn't even good. It doesn't feel great, especially when they're loaming. All right, let's run that. Game 3 on the draw. All right, we only have 1 land. We have the exact 1 Daze in our deck, so we have to Ponder and have Daze back up to protect it. I guess it's an all right hand. It's also really, really bad against Wasteland. I'll keep Trop, Ponder, Bobble. They targeted us with the Bobble. All right, they draw. So land, fetch, shock, cast Ponder. Well, it's another land. So Bowmasters, Thoughtseize, Wasteland, no Shuffle. Over to them. Brainstorm. I think I am going to Daze this. It protects this in case they have a Wasteland, and then it just prevents them. All right, Daze us back, sure. I think it's just like the best tempo play we can do here. And the next turn we go Shock, Thoughtseize them. Shock, Thoughtseize. Veil of Summer, damn it. All right, well, pass to them. Second trop, Hooting Mandrills. All right, I guess we just play a bunch of Bowmasters now, probably. Volcanic. All right, Mandrills hits us, we go to 11. All right, end of turn, Bowmasters. Daze. Floating a green source. All right, well, we can't pay that, so we get dazed. Really need to draw land this turn. No land. So that being the case, I think I need to Ponder into a land. All right, Ponder. Well, there's a Watery Grave, so here, this, no Shuffle. Shock this in, and I can get Death Shadow through a Daze. All right, Shadow. It's unfortunately a 4/4, so it trades with this rather than just straight up beating them. We are also always in the realm of potentially just dying to a bolt, or to 2 bolts rather. Brazen Borrow or Petty Theft it back to our hand. That is quite annoying. Am I supposed to Wasteland them now? I think it's very, very possible that I need to Wasteland them. So I should wait for that to leave the stack, and then Wasteland their Volcanic. All right, Trop, and then we get hit by the Mandrills again, go to 5. So I can play Shadow and Brainstorm, I can play Murktide. I probably can't afford to wait. I think I need to Grief them, exiling Bowmasters. Or maybe even exiling Shadow at this point, because then the Bowmasters can kill this Brazen Borrower if they cast it. Shadow's just so huge, though. Murktide's also big. How many spells do I have? 4, so it's a 7/7. Yeah, all right, Grief, and get rid of... Shadow's an 8/8. All right, get rid of Bowmasters. All right. So Grief resolved. What's in their hand? Force, Dismember, another Hooting Mandrills. They can't cast Force. They can cast Dismember. They can't cast the other Hooting Mandrills. So let's take Dismember and then play a Murktide. And then next turn, we have like Brazen. I guess the best thing to do would be Brainstorm into another blue land and then play Murktide. But that's greedy. If we miss a land, then we're dead. So let's take Dismember. Then Grief dies. And then we play Murktide. Spell, 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 spell. Irrelevant card. And over to them. Usually the thing is red for answers, green for threats. That's a good heuristic. Surgical on Orcish Bowmasters. Sure. And then they get to play the second Hooting. We drew Dismember. Yuck. All right, so I can play Brainstorm, put back Dismember because I don't want it. If we hit another land... Oh, let's see. Bouncing a Mandrills isn't great. I'm probably going to play Death Shadow no matter what, so I should Brainstorm and see what I get. Okay, so this is going to be way too slow. I could Grief the Force out of their hand, but what does that matter? I guess I could actually hard cast Dismember at some point, right? So I should put Grief and Palantir back, then play a land. And then if I play Death Shadow and attack them, I only die to them drawing another bounce spell. because I'm definitely playing Shadow, as opposed to not attacking. Although if I attack, then I can't fetch anymore because they can just attack with both of these. All right, let's just pass to them. All right, I don't want to draw any of the things I'm about to draw, so let's fetch Underground Sea. Another Murktide, which I can't really play right now. I mean, I guess I can tap out to play it. Man, being at 4 against this is just such a bummer. Well, if I attack with both, I'm attacking for 16, so that's not lethal. Okay, so I guess let's not attack, stop them in their upkeep, and dismember one of them. All right, dismember, kill this. Black, black. All right. They drew a Volcanic Island. There's DRC. So their hand's just Force of Will, and then they can play Brazen Borrower next turn. Another Murktide. So if I delve Murktide right now, they have to block both creatures. Or, no, they have to block one of the creatures or they're dead. Blue, blue. Delve, 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 delve. Tap. Triggers. Although if I attack with both, they only have to block with, like, DRC, let's say. And then they have an answer to this one. Then they just attack back with Mandrill. So I should just swing with one of them. All right, combat. Let's swing with this Murktide. And then I think we're good. Ponder. They surveilled to the top. Okay. They surveilled to the top. What can they have? Submerge. Tuck this. Surveil. And then if they hit the third one, then I still just block Mandrills. Bolt doesn't get them there. So if they play nothing and then pass to us, we attack all. They can have one answer, which would hit the biggest Murktide. Then they have to block Death Shadow. So I should just only attack with these two. All right, so just swing with both of these. So combat, they have to have an answer to this, and then they also still have to chump Death Shadow. Chump there. Okay, what's the answer to this? Lightning Bolt on us. Okay, you will still die. Damage. All right, well, on to round number 5. 5th and final round. We're currently 3-1. All right, on the draw. This hand is fine. We do have double grief on turn 1. All right, what are we up against? Bonamul's to 5. Bonamul's to 4. Scalding Tarn. Underground Sea. Personal Tutor. Okay, so Doomsday. Gotcha. So I should wait and then Thoughtseize the Doomsday out of their hand. Although they might have like Ritual or something, so I should Thoughtseize them now to make sure they can't have anything. All right, Swamp. Evoke Grief. Pitch. Bowmasters. Damn, I missed the last few minutes. Did you win against Rug Delver? Yes, we beat Delver. All right, Resolve the Grief. What's in their hand? They have to have a land, right? No. All right, so take Daze. This dies. Then we reanimate and take the Ritual out of their hand. Then pass to them. And now we know that they drew Doomsday, so it's back to us, and we'll Thoughtseize the Doomsday out of their hand. I can also Wasteland them. Thoughtseize, take Doomsday. All right, yeah, so they concede. So versus Doomsday, I want Force and Negation, Surgical. There's going to be a lot of useless cards, right? Okay, so all the removal's useless. So Snuff Out, Dismember, Push is all bad. Orcish Bowmasters is pretty bad. Dress Down can potentially present a... Even though they don't have any creature. So Dress Down stops Oracle and can make Death Shadows really big. And then Surgical, if we manage to get a Doomsday out of their hand and then Surgical it, we win. So let's cut the Bowmasters. Grafdigger's Cage is irrelevant. Null Rod's irrelevant. Palantir is basically irrelevant. Brazen Borrower, useless. Okay, let's run this. Okay, we can land, cycle Troll, then reanimate Troll. Obviously, we're missing interaction in this hand, but we also have Wastelands, so, like, it's fine. Polluted Delta. Petal. Petal. Are they just going to Doomsday on turn 1? Thoughtseize us. All right. If they take Troll, then we're actually cut off of being able to do anything, and then we just have to Wasteland. Taking Ponder. All right. Sack Petal, Dark Ritual. Here comes the Doomsday. All right. So it doesn't matter if I Wasteland them here because they can just stack their deck so that they have a second Mana Source, a bunch of draw spells, and Oracle. I guess we see what we draw. All right, so what do they have? The Exiled Edge of Autumn, Ideas Unbound, Misdirection. Okay. Well, Grief's useless, so I guess I just Wasteland this, and then I don't see how I can win, but all right, Wasteland that. Back over to them. So they drew and then didn't do anything. So there's Watery Grave, but we can't do anything. I guess I can Grief whatever in their hand, right? Unless it's a land. So if it's a land, they just don't play it. All right, so Grief, get rid of Reanimate. What's in your hand? Street Wraith. Okay, Grief dies. They're at 8. Shock this in. And I can't do anything right now, so just pass back to them. Okay, Swamp Cycle this. Go grab Watery Grave. Another Troll. Playing Wasteland's irrelevant, right? Like, they just won't play their land until they need to use it. Chalk this in. Reanimate on Grief. Doesn't matter. I guess maybe it matters. It's 3 turns versus 2 turns. I don't think that matters. All right, let's get Grief back. Another Street Wraith. All right, and over to them. All right, Swamp Cycle. We just have to draw date. We have to draw Forcible. No, they'll just have Cavernous Souls, right? So there's like no way we can actually get anything. We have to draw Dress Down. All right, well, they conceded. Huh. I did not think we had it there. 4-1 with Dimir Shadow. So, yeah, pretty much what you'd expect. It's basically Delver. It's just playing on the black axis instead of the red axis. You know, maybe you could tinker around with like some of these one-ofs. But overall, I feel like the list is pretty like tight in terms of what it's doing. So yeah, that is Dimir Shadow.